So we all have values. Whether we define them or not, we have values. Values, principles, hand in hand. I wouldn't even honestly know how to differentiate. I think I use the word principles more. And at the root of us, we have an operating system, and it's been defined mostly by the outside world. And so there's a lot of practice of just sitting back and seeing, like, what principles have I been operating on? What has been present for me? And really evaluating that, getting clear, oh, is this mine? Is this actually mine? Oh, no, this isn't mine. And, like, just picking and choosing and realizing, oh, this is aligned with me, this is not. And I think most men can agree on, like, what some central values and principles that good men should live by. And I think it's pretty central. Inside of the group program that I have, I couldn't tell you them all off the top of my head, but we have defined like 10 principles that were like, we all agree these are like the foundations of what it means to be a good man. And again, I think most people are going to come to similarities in that, like honesty and with ourselves, with others, transparency, integrity, those all kind of wrap in together. Confidence, being a protector, being a provider. And a lot of these are also in regard to relation with the feminine, with the family, how you show up, kindness, being of service, these different things. I haven't brushed up on exactly what mine are in a while, so I'm just kind of listing some things off. Mm-hmm. But it's that inner compass that you make your decisions from. It is the foundation of like who you are as a person. And it's so important because in a really good book, I'm sure you've probably read it, looks like you got a lot of books, but the 7 Principles of Highly Effective People. And when you are centered on anything else, everything else in life changes. If I'm centered on a relationship, that's my central, like, that is what the center of me is. And I derive my value off that. When that changes, I'm no longer in a relationship. Oh, wait, who am I now? All my value, like, I was dependent on that for worthiness. And people do that with money, with career, with friends, with hobbies, like with all kinds of things. And all of these things can change. All of these things can have variety in day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month. But our values, the core belief systems that we carry about ourselves and how we should show up in the world, like that doesn't change. And it can change very slightly over time. You know, think about like the Constitution. There's these 28 amendments, I believe we have, and they've been changed a handful of times in hundreds of years. And so that's how you think of your principles. Like, it might change every once in a great while, but truth is, like, what we know to be true about being a good man, like, there's not going to be some radical shift tomorrow, like, oh, actually, it's this. And once you get clear on that, once you start living by it, it's just a spiral up. It gets easier and easier and easier. And once you live in that energy, then you're going to attract things that deserve that energy. Everything's energy. So having clearly defined values, principles, how you operate, is the kind of funnel that you get to put life through. And so when you find yourself in a position, in a situation, how am I going to be here right now? And if you don't have those principles, you're just going to fall to whatever your emotion tells you. Our emotions are so powerful. They're super valuable. They're the body's intelligence, but they should not be dictating our decisions. And there's a beautiful example I heard, and it's like, imagine being like this pebble in the river. The river's coming along and just bounces all around, whatever. But if you're a big boulder and you have very firm principles, like the water's going to go around you, you're not going to move. And if you want to be in a serious relationship with a high-value woman, you need to make sure that you're that rock, so that when all that water is gushing in, you're not getting moved by the surrounding and what's happening in your environment. You're the same person.
Yeah. Okay, how do you become that rock? What? Because like I'm thinking of this, and like I could list out a bunch of principles and say, oh, I live by these, but then I'm guessing to become the rock, you need to actually live by them. You need to like prove it to yourself in doing it.
So I think the foundation of like the centerpiece is integrity, because the integrity is like, okay, do I have integrity to these principles? Integrity, and I said, like, goes hand in hand with transparency. If you have integrity, then transparency doesn't matter. I could open my life up, and if you can open your life up and everyone can see every decision that you make and you're okay with that, obviously you're not going to do that. There's some things that are personal to you, but like, are you okay with everyone knowing the decisions you made? And that tells you, yes, okay, I'm okay with that, and I'm proud of the decisions I make. So having integrity, knowing that I'm going to make the right decision. I'm not perfect. I will make mistakes. And this is something that really set on my heart about 3 weeks ago at this men's retreat I went to. And it opened a lot because I didn't realize how much shame was, retained inside of me. And we're going to make mistakes. So the level of integrity that we have, yes, I'm going to make the best decisions I can the first time around. Sometimes I'm going to make mistakes. When I make the mistake, can I own that? And I think that more than anything is where that principle is developed, because we're going to make mistakes, but can you turn around and say, I made a mistake. This is what I did. Here's my choice moving forward. So that is like where the deep level of trust with yourself and integrity is actually built, because we're going to make mistakes. And I think the challenge that a lot of people see, including myself for so long, was we expect ourselves to be perfect the first time around, so that when we make a mistake, well, now I'm no longer perfect, my integrity's ruined, and then we're shaming ourselves, and we're creating that big separation inside of ourselves. So the path forward is really blurry. But if you can realize, oh, now is my opportunity to actually have integrity, then I think that's where it gets easy.
Mm-hmm.